Hi all. Right, I thought I'd hang about for a last German impulse of the night, but could be one of those late night episodes. So I've had a couple of beers, but we'll see what what happens. Okay, it was German impulse, wasn't it? Yes. Okay, let's do it. Okay, second SS and yeah, I wasn't keen on this coming up, to be honest. Right, where are we? So there's no primary card, so that's the highest command value. So that's going to go there. Okay, well, I'm just looking at things before I get to them. So we've got consolidation on this, but I'm not sure any of the units are damaged. And I've said that one before, haven't I? So yeah, it needs to be units from 53rd Corps. So give me a sec. Yeah, there's only 3 units in that core on the board. There's another one. There's another one comes in a bit later on in the game. So yeah, nothing to repair. So that's going to sit there. That event's not going to trigger. So looking at the main card, the special is between the 24th and 25th. We're not there. Sign 1 replacement point. Well, if we can't do consolidation, we can't do that. So we're going to activate all the units in the core. Okay. Yeah, not sure. I don't know. It's just the fact that there's 2 pretty strong units here. They are in the middle of the forest here, though. So any movement at all is going to cost them 3 at the least to make any moves. So we do have, and the other one's adjacent here. Okay, so no roadblocks, and oh, hold on. Yeah, army objective's going to move now, isn't it? Because that's because this unit popped up with that detachment kind of thing the first time we'd done that. Hope that was right. It felt a bit strange, but maybe just because I've never done it before. Right, a sec. So it's in second placement, I think, isn't it? What's that? For the okay. So yeah, if a unit's proximate or within 2, well, both cases there. So this is going to move on somewhere. Where is it going to go? We're going to have to roll dice, aren't we? So it's in, what was it? Have Leneuve, something like that. Right, I'll just roll this off camera. Right, I rolled a 7. So 1 to 6, it's not. 7 is 7 to 9, it's Bertix West. So where is that? I don't know. Okay, I found it. It's in the forest, and it's spelt. It looks like Bertrix there, but on the rule book it missed the R and the R out. So it's Bertix in the rule book. So I don't know which one's which. So it's going to stay on the western side. It's going to move to there. So not really much change there. Well, actually that's not true, because these units would have been looking at that, and now they're looking at that, so as their army objective. So I suppose that might make a difference, yeah. Right, okay, so we've done that. Right, let's see if anything's going to move. And we've got combat engineers. There's a support card, combat tactic, and there's no reserves for that core. So okay. Okay, so right shooting movement methods 10 to 13. So I did look at the possibility of going up to Bastogne, but it's not close to the army objective. And same with coming down to R1. Well, he can't actually get down to R1, but he could actually. Oh, but yeah, he could have got adjacent to Bristol, but it's not closer. It's the same distance. So right on in Monmouth is 10 to 13, and there's an arrow in there. So 3, and then there's 7th Army. So that'd be 3 into there, 4. Hey, he's actually going down that way, isn't he? Okay. I think that's right though. So 3 movement into there, and then the arrow's down here if he's 7th Army, which he is. So that's 4 following the road. And then if this bridge is good, which it is, he's going to go down there. There's a second arrow going that way, but the bridge is good, so it does mean he takes that town. Okay, I think that's what's going to happen. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4. Control marker. 5. That's his normal movement, and going to have that bridge as well. And then he will be able to extend it just 1 hex more into here. Yeah. So coming down to threaten R1. Yeah, I was wondering about that. I kind of thought when the army objective moved along there, I thought they would kind of head that way, but there you go. Not so. Now the other unit would do the same. He's not going to get quite so far though, because that's 5 steps. This is a 3-step unit. So he'll end up in the town and not be able to extend. Yeah, there's no other arrows, is there? Right, hang on though. Well, here's the thing here. 3, 4, 5 can extend, but if he was to go 3, 4, 5, he would be able to extend. But yeah, no, hold on. We've got to get the full movement done first before we consider other arrows. Surely. Yeah, this should be straightforward. I think it's either just the wait night thing, or maybe I haven't moved the arrows for a wee while yet. So hang on. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we don't look at that. We look at doing its full movement first and then extending it if possible. So its full movement is trying to follow primary arrows, which it can by doing 3, 4, 5. And then once it reaches there, it would extend into here if it could. There's a secondary arrow though. Interesting. The plot thickens. So his full movement's into there for 5. And why did I stop that guy there then? Yeah. Hold on. We're going to rewind, I think. Where was he? He was there. Right, let's rewind these both actually. See what happens, Grant. You should have just sat down the stair, watched a bit of television, then went to your bed. So 3, 4, 5 following primary arrows, and then attempting to extend, going 1, and yes, I can't go into there because extended moves can't end adjacent, but I can start coming around here. So 1, 2, oh jings, 3, 4, 5. Okay, that's, well, you know what? He's come down across this bridge, took the town, finished there with his full movement, and then went 1, 2, following the secondary arrow, because the primary arrow he can't take, 2, then he can carry on with the primary arrow into there, 3, that's a queer hex, 3, 4, 5. There you go. Okay, so he has headed along that way. Yeah, I think I probably prefer them going that way there rather than coming down to R1, because I feel like this is eventually going to come through. Although we do have 3 12-core units we're going to get to deploy the day, so I'm actually not sure where they're going to deploy. Oh, that's a thought. They might not actually get to be able to deploy along here. They might have to come. Ooh. It might actually be tricky to deploy them. Okay, we'll look at that if it happens, Grant. Right, and there was possible detachments there, wasn't there? Well, there's one there. 3, 4, 5. And, well, there would be one left in the town as well. And then it went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So no more whole value hexes going through. So this unit's going to do the same. 3, 4, 5. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, he's going to follow his buddy, because yeah, the reason before was I thought there wouldn't be enough space because of the steps. So they're both in there. Was another detachment there also. Yeah, so they're both along there. Okay. What is along there? Not really anything to worry about. I mean, well, there's nothing stopping them from keeping going towards Givet, which is the sort of town at the south of the Meuse. So I suppose we do need to consider that, but they're a long way away from that. Mind you, strategic movement or extended movement for them. Yeah. Okay, let's look at the other unit then. Okay, I was just about to start looking at a unit, but these guys travelled quite a bit there. I'm just wondering, they took a town, so, and in fact, did they not end up in the town to start with? Where were they? They are, so it was 3, no. Have I made a mistake there? Or were they in... Yeah, they're in this hex, sorry, yeah, no, that's fair enough. 3, 4, 5. So they can get to the town, but then once they move away from the town, we need to watch for supply issues to that town, don't we? So just need to have a look at that. Yeah, there's going to be a problem with that, isn't there? And I think we can complete the full movement. It's just the extended move, so we can still do this move. We can still carry out this movement method. Okay, so I'm going to have to rewind again. Well, you know what? One of them all. And the first one, it's going to be the first one's going to have to... Right, I'm going to have to go all the way back again, right? Like, hang on. Let's start this again. Okay, Unit 1. Movement arrows. Primary arrow 3 into there. Primary arrow, another 1 into there. Primary arrow, finishing his move, 5 into this town. Gaining the town. And taking a bridge. And leaving a detachment in there. So now, can he extend that move? Oh dear. Right, well, the primary arrow into there is that going to be okay? So if he goes into there, can they trace supply? Yeah, 1, 2. Yeah, ally supply is now traceable to that town that we've just taken. Even by him just moving into that 1 hex. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, because 1, 2, onto that road and then away. Okay, so he needs to finish his move in there then. He can't extend it. The other guy, however, can end up 5 into there, and then he's quite free to go another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Leaving detachment there. Yeah. Okay. That feels better, I think. Right, and then the last guy, well, he's... Oh, wait a minute. He's not anymore, is he? Where did this guy come from? Or was it this guy? No, it was this guy, wasn't it? He must have came across the river the last time. Oh, no, he was a reserve, wasn't he? So that's freed this guy up, because he's now not holding this guy surrounded. Shoo, okay. Hold on though. He's not holding them surrounded, but he's adjacent to a victory point town, an allied victory point, so he's restricted, isn't he? Oh dear. Where was it? Do not move a unit starting adjacent to VP hex, occupied by allied units with strength 5 or less. Unless moving to another hex adjacent to the same VP hex. So yeah, so he's got a strength of 4, so actually no, he's not going to move. No. Because, well, no, he wouldn't want to even move to another hex, so that's that. He's not going to move at all. So this guy should be shown moved. Okay. Okay, so this would be the only attack to consider. Let's say it's combat engineers and their support card box, so and no reserves, so we're only talking about 4 against, well, it's 4 against 4, but it is in low supply, so it's 4 against 3, so it is 1-to-1 odds. So is there any modifiers to that? Well, maybe the support card. It's not weak, it's not an army card. Combat engineers. Well, yeah, I mean it is applicable, isn't it? We've talked about this one before. It gives 1 more strength to the unit. So there is a -1 on this. So 1-to-1 odds with a -1. Oh, it's the one. Mind you, he's like, oh, we're armour 2. Well, in fact, that's a 0, isn't it? Even if it was a 1, cancel if only defender weak or only defender armour. Well, we're armour, he's armour. Oh, okay. This is going to go. Interesting. Right, right, what's that? Right, okay, so combat tactic. As engineers. Okay, well that means he's not going to use this support card now, because that was engineers. Right, not really that much use to him though. So gives him a +1, but this guy's in a town anyway, so he's really looking for an assault coordination there, really, wasn't he? That would have been good. Okay, so it's 4 against 4. Well, actually no, sorry, it's 5 against 4, but still 1-to-1 odds. And ooh, chip pools are not a lot. There's only 2, isn't it? 1 for the unit and one for the combat engineers. Yeah, it's not a lot going here, is there? Not missed something there, have I? A low supply just means we can't play a combat tactic, really. There's not much more than that, is there? Yeah. Okay, so what did I say? 2 chip pools. Yeah, okay, so I'll go and get the 2 chips. Yeah, okay, well, we're actually getting a hit on him. Both odds chits. This was 5 to 1 on the front or something. That's the backside of it. And that was 2 to 1 on the front, but less than 1.5 to 1 on the back, so it's going to apply. So yeah, 1 hit to them. So straightforward. This guy flips. Yeah, I think that's all good. Okay, so that's that impulse over. All the units done something. So yeah, he should have been like that. That was the combat tactic. That was the command card. So I'll put these guys back to the way they should be, and we'll get the support card. I was going to activate the 2nd SS Panzer Corps and the 9th SS Panzer Corps from the 2nd SS Panzer Corps. Right, it's at the top. Some of them are in the reserves, I think. Actually, most of them are in the reserves. I've got 2 full strength 9th SS, 1 full strength and 1 reduced strength 2nd SS. So there's actually 4 units in there. So there's only 2 on the map. So right, let's hunt them down. Oh no! Stop! Oh, you know how I said I would forget? Oh, I've recorded quite a lot here as well. I knew I would forget this, the fuel. Oh dear. It's another one of these oh dear moments. I'm just going to put this card back in the support card box. I think I've got some video footage to go and review. Hang on. Wow, right, okay, this is what watch back on everything. I've got lucky, I think. I mean, whether maybe I would have clicked. The fact that I've just clicked there. And the last part was uploaded was only the second part of the 22nd, so nobody had made a comment. But right enough, I just looked back on it there. They were all core cards, no division cards. So this is in actual fact the first division card I've come across where now it's just when you right, give me a sec. Yeah, okay, I just had to check. It is when you actually draw the 2 cards. I knew this was going to catch me out, but hopefully we've just caught it in time. So the beginning of December 20th, and the reason we're on the 22nd is they had fuel markers for the 20th and the 21st. So we're on the 22nd now, they don't have a fuel marker. So each German division card lists specific dates in which formations on that card may be out of fuel. When you draw 2 cards at the start of German Impulse, check both cards drawn, exception if you've got fuel depots. Well, that was an exception on the 20th and the 21st. If neither card indicates that a formation is out of fuel on this date, conduct a normal German Impulse. If only one card indicates that a formation is out of fuel on this date, so that's what would have happened. We would have drawn both of these and then found out that it's just when you it's not when you draw cards for combat. No, it's not. So if only one card indicates that formation is out of fuel on this date, well, it is, because on the 22nd, the 9th SS are going to be out of fuel. The 2nd SS are fine, but the 9th SS are out of fuel. Place out of fuel markers on all units of that formation on the map and in the reserve units box, then discard the card. Use the other card drawn as a command card for the impulse. Well, we've done that anyway. And then if both cards indicate their formation is out of fuel on this date, discard both cards. German impulse immediately ends without a command being performed. Wow, okay. That's really quite strong then. Okay, so when we drew these two cards, this should have happened immediately, so we wouldn't have had the chance of the event happening. So we mark the 9th SS with an out of fuel marker, and it's just the 9th SS, but there's some in the reserves. There's one on the map as well though, so yeah, these guys get marked with out of fuel, and well, I'll find the other one, and then we discard that card. Yeah. One card indicates that information is out of fuel in the state. Place out of fuel marker on all units of information. Then discard the card. Yeah, okay. So that would have went away first. We still would have carried out. Now, did that make any difference? No, we still would have carried out that card. We got that attack. Unfortunately, we drew combat engineers anyway. So there was no support card to use. So yeah, all is done. I just need to find that other 9th SS unit. Okay, he's right up. He's underneath this unit. So I'll put the marker on him and put this guy back on top. Hopefully we can work that out. Well, we can't use that unit anyway because he's out of fuel. So just remember to take it off at the end of the day. Yeah. Okay. So just caught that in time, fortunately. Okay, I better call it a night now, I think, rather than carry on with the next Allied Impulse. That's us more than halfway through the deck. And you've got to say, things are going really well, aren't they? Sure, Martin's shaking his head again about some of the card draws, but yeah, I mean, 5th Panzer Army cards away, the 6th Panzer Army cards away, Army Group cards away. The only one we're dreading is the 47th. I mean, it's going to shuffle in anyway, so we are going to see it at some point. Well, unless I think there is a chance if you draw it in the very last card, is it, or something? That it might not happen, something like that. I better not do that. Martin will, he'll switch off. So, but apart from the 47th card, I'm not really, I'm not concerned about the first SS. I'm probably going to activate the 2nd SS. Curious to know what's going to happen maybe with that unit, but yeah, feeling pretty good about it. I mean, after how the end of the 21st went and the very start bit, I was like, oh no, what's happened here? But yeah, I feel like I'm back on track. Obviously got the 5 victory points back for Dino, and there is a good chance that, well, I've got the 7-core card in my hand. I know I can't activate the next impulse, but the next again impulse, I will be able to get that unit as long as they don't activate. As long as nothing comes here, I would be able to get that unit into here if I really wanted to. So yeah, okay. Right, I better call it a night, guys, and I'm not sure, a bit tied up now, so I might not get much. I've got 3 or 4 bits ready. I'm certainly can put one part together, so I can get part 3 put together, but maybe even split it into 2 bits and get part 3 and part 4 if it works out that way. Okay, I'll leave it for now though and be back with an Allied Impulse sometime soon. Okay, cheers. Hi all. Right, so Allied Impulse next. It's another late night episode, but I'm just done for work, so I'll keep my voice down a bit. So it's quite late. Right, there's a few things been on my mind. Been watching back on some of the stuff today when I had a break at work. A couple of wee things to point out. I didn't catch it. I added it to the comments on the YouTube video at the beginning. What was it? What was it? Oh yeah, okay. It was, hang on. Yeah, it was the advance after combat and this unit taking this town. And I was all kind of excited about the fact I was taking back a town, I think. Got a bit carried away with myself. Because the town had a detachment in it, so we were here, the attack, this was the combat hex here. We did retreat the unit, but when he retreated out of here, I was looking for something in the hope that maybe retreating didn't leave detachments behind, but I couldn't find any, and it does say any movement out of hex and advance after combat would leave a detachment. There's no mention of retreats, but my guess is that that this town should still have been sitting with a detachment in it. So, and then I made my advance, and cause this was like I say, I got all excited because this is a mechanised unit. I'm following the path of retreat. I can cross the German bridge into the German town, taking the town. But as soon as I advance into that hex, I'm adjacent to a detachment, so unfortunately I've got to stop there. I think it's still worthwhile advancing in there. That bridge will still be German as well. A clutter up there. So unfortunately I can't go and take that town, which is a bit of a bummer. However, oh no, I'm not going to be able to, am I? I'm just thinking I've got the card to activate these guys again. Can I not just cross, but I'm be crossing from zone of control to zone of control. Ooh, but I could go 1, 2, 3, 4. That'd be 4 movement into there, and then 1 across. Ooh, so I could do that. Okay. And I think I was contemplating. Well, no, actually, I can't activate them. This next impulse, because that was the last impulse. That was the last impulse I made, wasn't it? That was the last core I activated. And I think my intention had been to use the third core and have a go around about Bastogne. Yeah, but I spotted something looking back over it. I was looking back and I was starting kicking myself again, thinking about something that I should have done as soon as I'd taken Dinant. I don't know if any of you spotted it. I mean, I generally don't get comments regarding strategies from you, which, you know, I think is pretty good. I probably recorded on anyway, and after, if anybody did comment, but I suppose it's kind of up to me to try and decide what I should be doing, but anyway, right, well, I'll come in a minute once I decide what my impulse is going to be. There was another thing I noticed and I've taken note of in the last German impulse. And I don't know how I managed this one. I mean, moved these guys back 2 or 3 times before getting them in the right, the 53rd Corps units, before getting them, which I thought was in the right position. But the reason I moved them back was I'd moved them both on to there, and then realised that this town, after taking the town, I was then going to give it up to Allied supply, so this unit initially couldn't move in there. So he moved by arrows, and his 5th movement point by arrows was into the town. So I then said, right, well, he can't move any further, because as soon as he goes to here, which is the first extended movement point, Allied supply is traceable to this town. But I don't need to stop there. It's not going back to when, we had that bit that came to light that was at every hex a German movement you had to look at, and then decide, well, that's not the case. It's when it's finished its movement. And extending the move with movement method to, what was it, 10? When you go into the extended movement, it's kind of like movement method 11, which is moving closer to the army objective, because I can extend it by moving 1, 2, 3, up to 5, and I can extend it and maybe stop when there's a condition. I mean, I've obviously realised that as soon as I move into that hex, Allied supply is traceable. But let's just carry that on and say I move into that hex. Now, is Allied supply traceable to the town? Now, I never quite studied it, but I don't believe it is now, because, yeah, it can't go there, can't go there. Yeah, so in actual fact, that guy could extend his move to there. Remember, this guy wouldn't actually be here at the time, because he's second to move. So could I extend it any further? Could I extend it into there? And that's 3 of the extended movement points. And you know what? I can, can't I? Because Allied supply is still not traceable to the town. As soon as I move it into there, the 4th movement point... Oh, we're still good, aren't we? Yeah, so I can move it right to there. Now, if I move it to there, then Allied supply is traceable to this town. So this guy would have stopped there, and then his buddy would have came along, been able to do the whole full movement. And Allied supply is still not traceable to that town. So I'm pretty sure that's what should have happened. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, I think that was the only other thing that came up. There was a couple of things Martin's commented about. Well, yeah, one of the ones was, no, I can't go back and show you this one. I've not got the roadblock anymore. I was considering reinforcing a battle with a unit that was adjacent to a roadblock, and I thought that would be okay to do. And then the unit didn't do it because it was going to break a restriction, which was fine. So it didn't make the move, but I think if it wasn't breaking the restriction, I was thinking it was okay to move it, because he would have removed the roadblock. John Brown and Martin both agreed that shouldn't have been the case, and the unit's not actually getting activated when you're reinforcing the battle. Kind of threw me a little bit, that one, kind of thought it was. But fair enough, I looked and there's nothing to say that and whatever, so I agreed. I went with what the guy said. Well, Martin's just come back, and while he's been looking for something else, which I'm going to have a wee chat about as well, he came across a post that was confirmed by John Butterfield that when a unit reinforces a battle, if it was adjacent to a roadblock, it would not remove that roadblock. So, which tends to make you think that the unit isn't actually getting activated. So good to know that it was that. Right, let's talk about the thing that I've got away with this. So I've actually got away with this, but I'm annoyed about something. Right, I'll show you. Okay, this should have been, I think, my next impulse after moving that unit to Dinan. Not this. Because, I mean, I read it as well. I read it all. about deploying 30 core units. And I've moved the book, I had the page there as well. About how they got deployed. So it was, if deploying reserve units from British 30 Corps prior to a German unit entering a hex west of the Meuse River, which is where we're at, place each unit within these special restrictions. So in a road hex, an ally supply west or north of the Meuse River. And then there's an exception. The unit designated 29A XXX may be placed in Dinant hex 1126. So it's actually 1125, so I'm assuming that's a misprint. Well, let's say in Dinant. Yeah, that must be a misprint, because it wouldn't have said the town and then gave the location as this hex, would it? Of course, to be honest, that's not an exception, because that is a road hex that's west of the Meuse, so it's not an exception at all. So it must be a misprint, it must meant to be that hex. So, and I thought, well, there's one thing that possibly threw me, and this is the thing that John brought up, and I didn't quite notice, because the third bullet within that, the restriction is it's got to be at least 2 hexes away for a German unit, and I assumed at the time it needed to be 3 away, and I think possibly that may be what threw me. But in all honesty, John brought up that point before I then moved on, so I should have realised that, because if I deploy that core now, one of the units is going to go into Dinant. Which unit is it? 29. Unless it's just be an infantry unit, I would think. Maybe not. Could even be an armoured unit. 29A. It's a fluke. Oh my gosh. This is it here. It's a 5 strength armoured unit with 2 steps. Ah dear. So, and I mean, I'm lucky to still be able to do this now, because if the 47th had activated and moved any closer to that, I wouldn't have been able to do it. Now, I had to wait until I took Dinant back, but like I say, I've had an impulse in between. And not only that, I've brought this unit round here, trying to like do this whole support thing and get another unit into Dinant, and I didn't need to, because that armoured unit's just going to deploy right into the Dinant. So this unit coming all the way around here, it'd be better having back with his buddies, really. So that's a bit annoying, but like I say, I'm still lucky to be able to do this now, because I think I should do this now. I think so. I'm just going to read through it again before, but I'll not bore you with it. Should I comment on the other thing just now? Yeah, I might as well, because we're talking about deploying them. The other point that John had brought up, and Martin's made a bit of a comment with that. John Brown had mentioned once a German unit, this is also 7.41, the deployment of them. Once a German unit enters a hex west of the Meuse River, now the thing that bothered me about that was I don't want a German unit west of the Meuse River, so I don't want this situation to occur. But anyway, once a German unit enters a hex west of the Meuse River, reserve units of 30 Corps are deployed as if in a corps in the US First Army. And John read that as you could use the First Army card to deploy it. And when he said it, I was like, wow. And I seem to remember something in the past, or maybe in my previous game, wondering about that. And I also feel like I maybe made some comment about can't the 30 Corps be deployed with an army card or something. So it was maybe that's sprung to mind. But Martin's commented saying that he felt that that was only to a location where the units could be deployed, you know, in the First Army region. So, but I could see it being read either way, to be honest. It could be that it's meant that, or it could be it's meant as what John is thinking as well. So I think that's one Martin needs to write a wee note down, and maybe when he gathers a few more, maybe ask John Butterfield again to maybe confirm these things. Right. I've just noticed Martin's made another comment watching back, obviously, on the latest video, and it was regarding the attack here with the core objective units. These have got the core objective, haven't they? And I was at it for ages, trying to like think to myself, should these units not move across the river? Well, it's that unit there, isn't it? It was an isolated unit. That was a setup. It was, I'm not going to, he had an IP on him, but we played combat engineers, didn't we? And they removed the IP. And I'm thinking, these units should surely tactically adjust, and there's something missing there. And if this was movement 7, they would. Well, Martin asked the question to John. It was one of the clarifications that he got, and it's just obviously just not sunk in my head. And the question was that if units starting adjacent to an allied unit, well, actually, you know what? I should read it properly just to make sure. Can a unit that does not use method 7 but that starts adjacent and doesn't move also have its position adjusted by 9.24? And John Butterfield's come back and said yes, and that was huge. And obviously, I don't know, it's not sunk in, because that's a huge one. So any unit that starts adjacent to an allied unit, and it doesn't move, it can have its movement adjusted. That's huge, and I remember it at the time, but I don't know, it's just not sunk in. So, but if you remember, I was swithering, I was thinking, surely, is there something, is there? And I was like, because this unit's isolated as well, and I eventually realised that he's not exerting zone of control in this hex and this hex. So, in actual fact, this unit would have tactically adjusted across to there, and now this guy wouldn't have been able to, would he? 1, 2, yeah. Right, how would you actually do this? Well, yeah, you'd be looking at them in order, wouldn't you? So you'd be looking at number 1 first, wouldn't you? Yeah, because I'd be activating them. Well, I'd be moving them with 9.23, moving units with core objectives. So you check each German unit in ascending order. So I'd check this one. He's already adjacent. Could he tactically adjust? Well, he can't, because 1, 2, that would be 4 into there, and it's 1, 2, 4 into there as well. Yeah. So he can't get to the 2 hexes. So then you check unit number 4. Right, he's already adjacent, but he can get into here. He can cross this river into that hex. And then unit 5 can do the same. He could just cross there, or he could go up and around. So that's where they would have finished. Because now they're across the river, and that's where they want to be. And it makes sense, doesn't it? It makes total sense. I was even saying that. I was saying this should be built into the rules, and it's actually been clarified by John, and I've just totally forgotten all about it. Okay, it wouldn't have made any difference. Well, you know what? We might not have. Well, we would have been drawing the same amount of chits, wouldn't we? I mean, the unit died, so yeah, it wouldn't have made any difference. I'm pretty sure the same amount of chits would have been drawn. It would have been 6, so it wouldn't have been. Yeah, it's not that it would be 9-1 and stop cards getting drawn, would it? It would have been, because it would have been 6 and then another 2, so it would have been 8-3. So, in fact, I think were the odds not 2-1 anyway? It was 9, 10, 11. Oh, we had +2. Then we had combat engineers and Panzer battalion. So it would have been 4, 6, 7, 8. And R2. That would have been 10-3. So it would have been 3-1 odds. Yeah. Well, it wouldn't matter. The guy still would have died. So that's fine. Right. Well, hopefully I can. Now, hang on though. Advance after combat might have changed, wouldn't it? Okay, well this unit still wouldn't have advanced. And this guy wouldn't have advanced, that's another hex. But this guy who did automatically advance before would advance into a town or closer to, this would be closer to his army objective, so he would advance, but he's going to have to roll dice. I'm just going to do it off camera. It's a 1-7, he will advance. So if we get less than that, he's going to stay where he is. Sorry, if we get more than that, he's going to stay where he is. Right, I got a 6, so he would have advanced. Here's the thing though, he could advance a second hex now, couldn't he? Yeah, because he couldn't before because he just crossed the river. And the thing is, that's a primary arrow with a 5, and this would be a good bridge. So yeah, so I think he's going to auto advance into there after coming there, and then take that bridge. There's more to fix here than I thought, and leave a detachment there and there. That's right, because he was there. Attack the unit there. Advance after combat there, and advance a second hex. There was no path of retreat, but that was fine, wasn't that? Yeah. Okay. I think that's right. I might review that later just to see. Okay, I think I've got things cleared up there. There's always something, eh? Right, I think I'm going to do this. I mean, it makes sense, doesn't it? I mean, deploy them now. I mean, I should have done it, like I say, and not even brought this guy down. He could have still been up there, and then we've got 8 strength and you know. Okay, so I'm going to deploy the British reserves, right? So there's quite a crowd of them. Hang on. Okay, so there's all the units, right? So they've got to be west or north of the Meuse. They've got to be on a road, an allied supply. Right, and then this exception is the unit designated 29A. So it's this unit here, maybe deployed in Dino. Well, that's where he's going. Definitely. I don't know if it's best to deploy him first, because then once he's deployed, they've got to be within 3 of him. Well, that's fine. I was thinking put these 2 big strong units in behind him. Put these other 2 there. Probably. Well, hang members of infantry need to go in the same hex, don't they? They're 2 divisions of infantry. 43rd and the 53rd. Okay, that's fine. I think we'll have because they've got to be within 3. So 1, 2, 3. They can go here into GV. That makes sense. Remember, I was talking about the 53rd Corps units. I mean, they're a good bit away, but. And then, I don't know, maybe in here. I don't feel like there's a major threat up the north. I'd prefer to keep them round about this area. I mean, Namur, I don't feel there's any need to be. I could deploy some of them. I could have deployed one of them into Namur. But, I mean, we're hoping. That's the thing though, that unit. Because they're not allowed to move. Yeah, you're going to have that unit over the Meuse, aren't you? Hang on. Okay. I found what I needed to be looking at. Obviously, it's the restrictions. It's under 10.7. We looked at this before as well. Units of the British 30 Corps may not move or advance into a hex east of the Meuse River until there's 2 possible bullets here. The moment a German unit enters a hex adjacent to the Meuse River, or 26, or on December the 26th or beyond. So we're only on the 22nd just now. So, I mean, some ways they're more than likely going to be just sitting across there until the 26th. However, it says, once either of these occur, the units of 30 Corps may move anywhere on the map, and then it's got the exception. If 29A XXX is deployed in hex 1126 Denon, still saying 1126, but I'm assuming that's a mistake, the unit may move anywhere on the map. So that guy, he's not restricted, he can move where he wants. But the rest of them are going to have to wait till either a German unit reaches the Meuse, adjacent to the Meuse, or after December 26th. Or from December 26th. But I still think it makes sense to point them now. Okay, they might not be able to do an awful lot, but it was just mainly to get that a bit more support in Denon. This is what I was trying to do with this. So I'm annoyed that I didn't realise that, but however, it's happened. Okay, so that's my impulse over. But feeling better about things now. Okay, and I'm going to drop the 7 cards. So 1 more card, there's only 2 more left in the draw pile. I've got the Corps Artillery again, so not the 8th Corps, but it doesn't matter anymore really, does it? Although it would be nice to surround the Führer Brigade now that I've got that in there. If I did get the 8th Corps unit into here, it surrounds it again, but it's maybe not that important. Right, do I have the time to do another German impulse? Maybe that'll come off, and that was just a deployment, so we can activate anything. So next impulse, well, I either do, well, I think I'm probably going to do 3rd Corps and get around here and have a go at this guy. Hopefully, maybe even reinforce him with that. But then again, the fact I didn't take that town because of that issue, remember I said I could activate 7 Corps again and come around into that town. And maybe even, I don't know, this unit's dispersed. I'd have 3-1 odds with one chip pool. If I just used that unit. Nah. But the other thing I could do is maybe move this guy back again as well, because, well, I don't really see the need for him there now. That's just been a waste. Okay, I'm going to pause just now and just to cut the video there because it's getting longish. But I might still have a bash at a German impulse before I go to bed. Okay, right guys, cheers. Hi all. Right, I'm still here. So still quite late. Probably don't have time to finish this impulse, but I've got a wee bit, so I'm going to start it off. So German impulse time. Okay, 66 core again, supplemental, first DSS, and now, right, fuel issues. Yes, the 22nd for the first DSS. Yeah, okay, I was just double checking that again. It just seems it's quite powerful. I mean, I remember it when you had the Germans. Being out of fuel was brutal, like, but just the fact that discard the card as well. Okay, so it's the first SS are going to be out of fuel on this date. So that's the Piper. Right, I'll go and find them. Okay, so there's the Piper unit. So he's marked out of fuel. That's the other one there. He's out of fuel as well. And the other one's actually in the reserve units box, so I'll just mark him as well. So that's all that happens with that. Means they can't do an awful lot. And then we discard that card. So maybe I can just get this impulse going then. Because I don't think that's a small core, that's and it probably going to start moving. Okay, so command card, well, it's actually going to be quicker because it's the supplemental, so it's going to assign a replacement point. I think there is one. Sorry, sloppy camera work there again. Okay, so assign one replacement point. This unit's, yeah, he can go back up to his green 5 strength and 4 pips. Like I say, there's only the 3 units in that core. There's no other units from that core. I think I might have talked about this before actually. Not even any reserves. But he can trace reserve supply, so yeah. So he's going to repair back up to 5 strength. Like I say, he goes back to green rather than his normal quality, so okay, and that's going to be that. So it's quite a very quick impulse. Maybe I've got time for something else. Actually, to be honest, I think I better leave it like that for the night. Probably going to do the 3rd core. So it's going to be a bit of an attack and whatever. It's going to take a wee bit too much time, I think. Okay, I'll tag this wee bit on to the end of that last bit, and I think that probably got enough to upload another. Be part 4, I think, of the 22nd. Might have to give that previous episode a once over, just to make sure everyone. There's a few dodgy looking things going on there, so just make sure everyone's alright. Okay, I'll catch up soon with the next Allied Impulse, guys. Okay, cheers.